There's been a lot happening in the watch space over these past couple of weeks, and a few headlines that have really stuck out to me, so here's what's been happening. Starting off, let's talk about Leonardo DiCaprio becoming a Rolex brand ambassador. So last week, Rolex released videos on their YouTube channel and Instagram featuring their ambassadors, but there was a new face in the crowd. Now, I've got two big thoughts on this. So for one, I thought the videos were a kind of strange and weird integration for Leo. It didn't fully make sense. Like, the whole video was really sporty, tennis stars, yachting, skiing. Even with James Cameron, it was James Cameron doing his deep sea stuff. It felt like throwing Leonardo DiCaprio in there didn't make sense. And my second thought was, even though this video seems to have a lot of different people in it, the primary purpose was to show that Leonardo DiCaprio was joining the Rolex family. Both of the thumbnails on YouTube and Instagram had Leo on them. Since this news, Rolex has been on a big cinema push. If you go on their website right now, the homepage is Celebrating Cinema, and they released a YouTube video a few days ago along similar lines, Rolex and Cinema. This is all clearly aligned with the 97th Academy Awards, which just took place, but honestly, I feel like it might be a bit more than that. As our world moves more digital, as more of our relationships happen online, I think there's something special and almost sacred about the things that bring us together. Live sport, live music, and cinema. There are entire countries fighting over video sharing platforms. You can't tell me film and sharing film isn't important. I think Rolex aligning themselves with cinema and cinematic excellence is a really smart long-term move that will pay off in dividends. Next bit of news that caught my eye is Tag Heuer, Formula One, and revealing the timekeeping clock. So 2024 was Rolex's final year of being the official Formula One timekeeper, and Tag Heuer has stepped back in, and I love this. For me, Tag Heuer is synonymous with motor racing. As you guys know, I love Formula One, so I love this. This makes a lot of sense. The big bit of news that has been making the rounds is the official timekeeping clock, which looks quite similar to a neo-vintage Formula One. I recently received an Instagram message off someone saying that their Tag Heuer authorized dealer mentioned that Tag will be re-releasing a neo-vintage looking Formula One in May, not a Kith Heuer. If this is true, I think a lot of watch enthusiasts will lose their minds. This is a favorite reference for many, very nostalgic, very 80s, 90s, and for me it brings me back to McLaren, 1980s, couldn't be happier. If they do indeed re-release the Formula One, the big question mark for me is going to be around the price. Part of the charm of the F1 was always that it was a cheap and cheerful bit of kit, and it was meant to attract a younger demographic to the brand. I think this could be the make or break thing of this launch. Tag will either need to keep this quartz and sub $1,000 USD, or put an actually good movement in it. Use premium materials, not like the plastic bezel of the original. And then I think they could justify the higher price point. But for me and a lot of F1, Tag Heuer F1 lovers, I like the cheap and cheerful. I think it loses its charm otherwise. It's like a sapphire crystal Speedmaster for me. I don't know. Either way, I'm so excited for Formula One. I think it's going to be a great season, and I'm so excited to see Tag Heuer come back as the official timekeeper. Next, Audemars Piguet have released their 2025 novelties, celebrating their 150-year anniversary. So there are 2 new AP Royal Oak Offshores, quite a few Code 1159s, including an automatic chronograph, in this deep, almost indigo blue, a perpetual calendar, and the real showstopper is the Grand Sonnery. Absolutely insane, so AP. And they have also unveiled 3 new Royal Oak perpetual calendars, and these are something else. So 1 in stainless steel, 1 in 18 karat sand gold, and 1 in titanium. Honestly, I think they knocked it out of the park. These look amazing, and I think this reveals the direction AP is leaning towards, especially with that titanium Royal Oak. They are going sportier, while not sacrificing watchmaking or complications, and I think that really stands out when compared to other Holy Trinity brands like Patek Philippe. There's a slightly weird quirk with their perpetual calendars, and I'm not sure how many other people notice this as well. But the date numbers start at 1, and you think they're going to do all odd numbers ending in 31. But it starts at 1, then at 7 it switches to 8 and ends at 30. Very weird quirk, and it's not on all of them. So the titanium royal oak stays how you'd expect the numbers to be. Yeah, no one cares, but this is just a weird little thing I think perpetual calendar people would spot. On the whole, these are amazing. I don't have a bad thing to say about these novelties. I really, really like these. I feel like I'm showing my hand too much here, but I feel like they did a fantastic job. I love the direction AP is going in, and what a way to celebrate 150 years. This is how it's done. Final bit of watch news we need to talk about is the new Omega Seamaster Diver 300 in bronze, available on the mesh bracelet or a black rubber strap. So these were launched at the end of February 19th, and I think these look fantastic. The warm bronze material paired with a burgundy red aluminum bezel, amazing. Although I like this release, I do have some problems. When these were first unveiled, I rushed over to the Omega website to see the price because I was genuinely interested, but upon seeing these are retailing for £26,000, oosh. I'm sorry, I really like these, but the price is way too high for me. I love the choice of bronze, really interesting material, but I can't afford this. To be fair to Omega, bronze can be expensive depending on copper prices, with copper being the primary component in the alloy. And it also contains other expensive materials such as aluminium, silicon, and tin. Bronze is also difficult to make, requiring the right proportions to be melted down. What I'm trying to say is even though the asking price is high, it might be justified given the material and being on bracelet. For example, the Panerai submersible in bronze retails between £15,000 and £16,000, not on bracelet and not an Omega coaxial movement. I still think £26,000 is a bit steep. Maybe closer to £20,000, £21,000 makes sense. And it still doesn't change the fact that I can't afford it. My other big problem with this new Omega is the choice of this specific mesh bracelet. I generally really like a Milanese bracelet or mesh bracelet, but the way this bracelet stores under the clasp, for me, doesn't work. If you have a larger wrist, you won't have as much bracelet you need to tuck under and it will be fine. But if you have a smaller wrist like me, an average to smaller sized wrist, this could be a problem. I say it all the time and it's true. I feel like Omega always makes the changes that no one is asking for and no one really wants. Like, no one was asking for a bronze Seamaster, but we have been asking for a bracelet with a taper and smaller Seamaster offerings. Maybe they are listening and we'll be seeing a more elegant Seamaster bracelet hitting later this year. Come on, Omega, please. But anyways, guys, this was just a quick one from me and the watch news that is getting me the most excited. I'd love to know in those comments down below if there was any bits of big watch news that I've missed. Let me know. I can't wait to read it. We'll see you down there. Pope tier patrons, you're amazing. Get their names on the screen.